fans aren't going to be too happy about this whole 5 and 6. But take us back to those episodes of that 1993 Eastern Conference Finals.
Man, that's Charles Smith, isn't it?
Yep, that's it.
Man, I'll tell you what. Number one, I don't know if Quintin's ever been in Madison Square Garden. I think he has, Riles. There's nothing. There's no. And listen, I think that the old Chicago Stadium, the crowd, the noise inside the old Chicago Stadium, and frankly inside the United Center for that matter, they were as loud as arenas as I've been to. Right up there with T Arena in Seattle before the Supersonics disappeared. That was one of the loudest. But there's something special about going to the world's most famous arena, and that's Madison Square Garden. And then when you remember those Bulls-Knicks battles back then when Pat Riley was head coach of the Knicks, and you had Stark and Mason and Charles Smith, and they were great battles that you'll never forget. Xavier McDaniel, and that series against the Knicks, the Charles Smith series, up once, up twice, up 3 times. Was it 3 times or 4 times that they finally gave up and he couldn't get it in that bucket?
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. One of those moments there were so many games against the Knicks that I'll never forget. Hubert Davis, Phantom foul on Scottie Pippen's Phantom foul on Hubert Davis, the Hugh Hollins fault that, frankly, in my opinion, turned the Bulls out of the 4th consecutive title in that first 3-game run.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. We're on with the great Lou Canellis, Fox-32 sports director, reminiscing the Chicago Bulls, the Dynasty team back in the 90s. And I have been to Madison Square Garden, Lou, and I can tell you, I was there when Michael Jordan made his return with the Washington Wizards, okay? He made his return at the Garden, and that was actually during the same time that it was 9/11. And the New York Yankees were in the World Series. Remember the dramatic series after 9/11 and the dramatic, the Derek Jeter, midnight, home run. I went from one game to the other. I had to do double duty. So I had to cover Michael Jordan briefly on his return to Madison Square Garden, and I had to get to old Yankee Stadium to cover the World Series back then. So that was quite some experience, man. But you talk about Dennis Rodman. Now, I don't know how much you can share with us, but I can tell you that I even partied. Remember Dennis Rodman had his club, I think, on Ontario Illusions? You remember that club? Yeah. I had a chance to hang out with Dennis a couple times over there. So, but you actually, Lou, correct me, you actually had an opportunity to hang out with these guys, on the planes, and we've seen some of the antics in The Last Dance as far as what happened on those plane rides. We had Steve Cashel on a couple weeks ago to share some of his plane ride stories with the Chicago Bulls teams. What else do you have for us?
Listen, man, when you were with Dennis, all bets were off. You just needed to make sure you kept yourself out of jail, and that's not he ever did anything illegal. He did. I told someone the other day that Dennis Rodman, one of the most giving individuals I've ever met, incredibly quiet, but if he feels comfortable around you and allows you in his inner circle, he is the guy that you want to hang with. And I'll share this story, because the last thing I'd want to do is talk out of school. There's guideposts still that exist, even going all the way back to the 90s now, Riles. And in Rodman's case, on Tuesday night, there used to be a bar, I don't remember it, it was called Martini Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Martini Ranch was on Chicago Avenue, just east of Franklin. And Tuesday night was their night. And if the Bulls had a home game on a Tuesday night, you didn't have to leave right after the game for a road trip. Everyone would go to Martini Ranch, and Dennis would buy the whole place shop. And Dennis was just one of those guys that wanted to have a good time within the law, with everyone. He was everyone's friend. He put Crowbar back on the map.
Yeah.
Hey Lou, did he really miss a couple games though, or was it did he really leave during the season to go party? Yeah. Is that, how true is that? Is that really true?
He needed to go on a bender.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's so funny you react like that, because I did an interview with Marc Eversley, the owner of the Mavericks, the other day, and Marc said that he was watching last week, and he said, "Oh my God, if Dennis Rodman came to me," and remember, Rodman played for the Mavericks for only 17 days because Cuban realized what he had gotten himself into. He said, if he asked me, "Hey, listen, I need to take some time off in the middle of the season because I need to go on a 48-hour bender in Vegas," he goes, "I would have lost my mind." But yeah, he did. And the reason it worked here in Chicago, and I tell people, listen, Phil was a wild child when he played the game.
Yeah, he was. I saw that. Yeah, he said last time. Right.
Phil was a wild child.
Yeah, he did.
That was incredibly deep. I call it almost a father-son bond. Like Dennis had a father-son bond with some days before he left, and then went on to San Antonio and Chicago and Dallas. And Dennis had that same type of relationship with Phil because Phil understood Dennis. And the one thing about Dennis is if he has to go on a 48-hour bender to Vegas, you let him, okay, he comes back.
He ready to go.
He's a new man.
I couldn't imagine Mitchell Trubisky talking about he could get a couple games off.
Yeah, well, right now, Mitch doesn't deserve it.
We hadn't even talked about the Bears, Jerry. We hadn't even talked about the Bears yet.
Okay, Lou, before we switch gears, and we appreciate you taking some time out on this Sunday to preview, the Last Dance. We got to ask you about the controversy regarding all this week, and you're a Jordan guy. I'm a Jordan guy. Pretty much everyone in the city, in the world, are Jordan guys. And so when he says something, you got to go, okay, hey, if the man said it, it must be true. But when he called Isaiah Thomas out, dude, I was surprised. He was adamant about his statements and his feelings toward Isaiah. And I knew there were hard feelings. But when he called him an a-hole, dude, I almost fell off. I go, oh, my God. And then Isaiah did the media tour. And I got to say, we actually reached out to Isaiah this week to see if we can get him to come on. And, we didn't get an opportunity to get him on. But were you surprised at how Isaiah Thomas reacted and responded to what Michael Jordan said about the bad boys? Because we know the truth. You and I, we pretty much know what happened back then. Some people weren't around. Some people didn't understand. But were you surprised with Isaiah Thomas' reaction to what Michael Jordan said and how he tried to spin it day in and day out this past week to clear his name up?
I was. I really thought that he had the same reaction that Phil Lambier did. And Lambier basically said, yeah, we walked off the court. We don't care. I think called the Bulls whiners. Just last week. Someone interviewed him from ESPN on Monday, I believe, and he said, I don't regret anything. I don't regret a second the way I handled it. Now remember, Lambier was the guy who led that whole thing off the court with time still left on the clock. And MJ has every right in the world to still blank and hate the Pistons, as he said, because he's got stars to show them.
Right.
Now, was I surprised that Isaiah tried to backpedal and, tell the world that it hurt him with the way he's been portrayed? I thought he would take the Lambier stance, but, that's Isaiah. I think he's here. Listen, Isaiah is a Chicago kid. It's cost him dearly in the minds of basketball fans around the world. It cost him a chance to play in the 92 Dream Team. And I truly believe, I believe that Isaiah today, because if you knew Isaiah Thomas before that happened, I always thought, even though he played for the bad boys, the Pistons, and they beat up the Bulls, I thought he was a quality kid from St. Joe.
Right.
Okay? And then they pulled that stunt, and everything good you felt about Isaiah, you question. And because he was the leader of that team, he may not have been the leader of the revolt that day, but he was still the leader of the team. And instead of standing up to Bill Lambier and saying, you handle it your way, I'm going to handle it my way, and handling it with class, he did.
Yeah.
John Staley was down with Scott Van Pelt after episodes 3 and 4 last week, And Sally said he went to Daly and Brendan Malone and he said, put me back in the game at the end, even though the game was out of reach.
Right.
Put me back because I don't want to handle it like these guys are going to handle it. And guess what? Guess who plays for the Bulls in the championship run? John Sally.
Right, exactly. So here, real quick before we switch gears, though, I prior to, and I probably one of very few, but prior to last week and MJ, publicly calling him an a-hole and doesn't care what Isaiah had to say, I pretty much gave, Isaiah the benefit of the doubt. And the reason being, Lou, you're a Chicago guy, I'm a Southside Chicago guy. Zeke, he's a West Sider. And the mentality of a Chicago West Sider, man, growing up on the West Side, it wasn't a cakewalk. And I truly believe that part of that West Side of Zeke came out in his competitive nature. And he's like, because think about it, you playing playground ball in the city of Chicago, man. Yeah. You get punked, the guys want to fight. Literally, they want to fight. And so I think that West Side mentality came out of Zeke. And he's like, F that dude, punk ass, right? And I think that's the role that he was playing. And so for a Chicagoan, knowing his West Side roots, you kind of like, okay, I got him because I understand it. But for him to there are a lot of stories, a lot of baggage regarding Isaiah from people speculate that he crushed the CDA, some of his other business dealings, and come full circle with this, but. Prior to, what happened, I kind of like, okay, I get that. Chicago West Side is coming out of Isaiah Thomas. Did you get any of that? Okay.
When you get to Isaiah's level, all right, and you're an example to kids, and you are one of the top, let's say he was one of the top 10 players in the game, top 5 at that time. I think that he has a fiduciary responsibility to handle himself like a fast act. Swept by the Bulls, who, by the way, you beat up the last 2 years, and they had the class to shake your hand after you kicked their ass and walked off the court. They still had the class to shake your hand. I think he owed it to the Bulls. Now, he can sit all he wants to talk about how Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and those guys walked off. I think Zeke deep down is a better person than that. He's a better sportsman than that. The better example for staying on the east side of the west side of Chicago that are growing up wanting to be Isaiah Thomas. I think he got caught up in the whole, hey, we're the bad boys, you don't push us around like that, and we're going to walk off and pick it up this Easter. I just don't. I think deep down, he's coming out now because he regrets that he did it.
I think we putting too much weight into it, man. I think like, see, even with me too, I didn't always go clap hands after the game. It's like a tunnel vision you have. It's
now you won't be able to.
I see them guys when I see them. I got to get back to the locker room. Keep it moving. Like it wasn't always like it don't mean anything at this point. At pros, it's like it ain't about respect. It's about whatever. It is what it is. You know what? I don't have to. I got no money. It's not little league anymore. You don't get in line and clap hands. If I'm mad in my feelings about losing a game, I want to see y'all guys. I'll see y'all next week. It don't mean I disrespect y'all guys. It's just I'm locked in. I don't have anything to say.
So you don't think Isaiah was a punk and walking off?
Heck no. Hell no. I don't need anything to do with anything. That's everybody else taking it personal, feeling like he got to do it this way. No, he don't got to be politically correct. It can be him. If he didn't want to clap hands, he want to clap hands.
Yeah.
So what?
But it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
Well, so what?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, Lou, I know time is precious for you. Want to switch gears real quick. That's, of course, Quintin Demps played with our beloved back in 2017. But hey, man, were you surprised on the Bears and their move to not to pick up the extension on?
How much was he supposed to get?
Dude, he was backing up.
That $24 million.
He was backing up the Brink truck. He was backing up the Brinks truck.
24.8.
He was supposed to get 24.8.
That's right.
Yeah. Lou, what are your thoughts on the Bears?
Well, my thoughts are that the Bears may publicly, Ryan Tate may publicly be saying that he is in support of Mitchell Trubisky as his quarterback, but he didn't show it.
Right.
And, listen, it's the smart business move.
Right.
And if you didn't think Kyle Fuller deserved it this year, which you didn't, Okay, when he was in year 4 of his deal. Mr. Trubisky sure has given you reason to give him or guarantee him that kind of money. And furthermore, they went out and they spent a 4th-round draft pick, and we saw how valuable draft picks are to this organization the last couple of years after the Khalil Mack trade. And they went out and spent $21 million on a veteran quarterback in Nick Foles. Now, having said all that, I think that when training camp starts, and I do believe there will be a training camp, maybe a week or 2, but I think there'll be a training camp. I think that Mr. Trubisky will be working with the first team when camp first opens. I think it'll be his job
to lose.
Why?
Because he was the pick made by Ryan Pace, and I think that deep down they feel they owe him the opportunity to go out there. I mean, one of the 2 guys has to work with the first team that first practice. I think they're going to give it to Trubisky. He's been around having there be no organized team activity, no off-season workout, works against Nick Foles. I don't care. You can say all you want about Foles knowing Matt Nagy's offense, and Quintin can relate to this more than I can. But unless you're truly operating the offense with the talent you're going to be playing with, it's going to take a little time. And every day that we miss those off-season workouts works against Nick Foles, at least for the start of training camp. And I think because Trubisky's been through it with guys like Allen Robinson and some of the other guys on offense, that offensive line, they know his case. I think he'll be given the opportunity to start first.
And great stuff. Real quick, so because Ryan Pace, before this COVID thing hit, he came out publicly and said that Mitchell Trubisky will be a starting quarterback in 2020. Does he live by that?
Did he say for the Bears, or who did he say for?
Well, for the Bears.
He said for the Bears?
At the start of training camp, now, if training camp starts and Mitchell can't keep the job and he plays like he did last year in Bourbonnais, then he's going to lose the game.
Hey, Lou.
Depending on how well Nick plays, though, too. You can't just give it to Nick. He got to come show and prove too. It can't be even. Somebody got to take the ring.
You're right.
Somebody got to take it.
You look at Foles' numbers. Foles hasn't exactly lit the joint on.
You're right, exactly. So he's not going to just come in and start right away. He got to come early too.
Well, Lou, hey, thank you.
You got to dig deep into Foles' numbers. I mean, this guy, he was the Super Bowl MVP, but for the most part, his career has been
real average. Yeah, real average.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
He's won 7 games in the last 4 years.
They're both backups at the best.
Wow. Well, hopefully we'll get an opportunity to see some football this upcoming fall. Hey, man, with the pandemic, the family, everybody's good. Congratulations on the little tyke. How old is she now? 2 years old?
She'll be 2 next Sunday on Mother's Day.
God bless you.
Oh,
God bless you.
Mother's Day.
How's it feel being a poppy?
Oh my God, what a blessing! Complete a life changer. I know anyone that listening that has kids. I know you know Jerry. I don't know if you have kids, but it's a life changer, and I'm so lucky to have her. And the silver lining for me in this whole coronavirus pandemic has been, they actually built a studio in my guest bedroom here at home in my condo, and while it's tough to do my job because I don't have access to everything like I do at Fox, the beauty is I'm able to put my daughter to bed every night, tuck her in, reach her with her, help her brush her teeth. And I wasn't able to do that because I was always anchoring at Fox prior to this. And I'm blessed to be able to have that opportunity with her now. And these are her formative years. I mean, she's building this bond with Daddy right now. So it's been awesome.
Well, you know what? God bless you, brother, and take full advantage of every single moment because they grow fast and they grow quick. My daughters, I got 2 of them at the University of Illinois Champaign. One's a junior, one's a sophomore. And you're right with this pandemic. It is a blessing because I get to spend every day with them. And I'm cherishing every moment. It's fantastic. So enjoy it, brother. And I saw the tweet where she was celebrating. Was she celebrating Mitchell Trubisky not getting the extension? Was it?
I love her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was goal commit, but I thought she was cheering also that 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 there was a new sheriff coming to town, and it wasn't Mitchell Trubisky. Hey, also, brother, I know the restaurant business has taken a pounding. We do business with Canellis. Let us entertain you in Petorino's downtown. How things have affected you and your restaurants?
Oh man, it's tough. As you touched on, it's not only me, it's every restaurateur out there. And our Lincoln Park location, which has been open, Abli, A-B-L-I, that's the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
The one in Lincoln Park on Wrightwood and Wayne is actually held up. Now, it's been around for, 18 months, so it's got some history there, and the neighborhood has been incredibly supportive. Our north location has had a tougher go of it because prior to COVID-19, it was only 3 months old, and we had never done carry-out delivery. So you're changing your business plan in the middle of this pandemic, and you're trying to just keep your doors open and make it work. And slowly but surely, the River North community has been supportive and coming around, and we appreciate it. I hope, and I say this with all sincerity, because unless you've been in the restaurant business, you don't know how tough it is.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult to make money when everything is great, the economy is rolling. When you're put in this position, oh my gosh, all odds are stacked against you. So every restaurateur out there, I say a prayer for, because it's not easy for any of us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is very, very difficult, and I encourage everyone to support your local restaurants wherever you may live. Gale Street Inn down the street with George and his crew. We try to support them. Serenillo's and Wheeling, we support them. Just order out at least, if you can order out at least once a week to try to support at least once a week. We're going to be ordering out later on tonight as well. Hey, Lou, thank you so very much, man. Be safe, be careful, and keep up the great work on Fox-32. And we certainly hope to talk with you down the road, my good friend. And enjoy The Last Dance, man.
Thanks, Lou. Appreciate it.
You're the best. Thank you, brother. Take care. Lou Canellis, Fox-32 on our TR60 hotline. You guys want to keep going commercial-free? Moving forward, Gabe Salgado, we got a TR60 scoreboard update coming up before we're out of here. Let's go back out to our TR60 hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He is phenomenal. Only one of 3 former NBA players to hold a doctorate degree. He played 6 years in the National Basketball Association for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's currently the senior counselor for the NBA Players Association. He's on our TR60 hotline. Here's our TR60 analyst basketball. He is the one. He's the only. He's Dr. Lloyd Walton. What's up, Doc? How are you, buddy?
Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Evening.
Safe and sound, brother. You safe?
I'm safe and I'm sound.
That a boy. So, hey, man, again, I know you got the lazy boy. I know you got the popcorn. I'm not too sure about the boxes, but are you ready for the last dance?
I am ready without boxes.
Hey, man, it's exciting. By the way, the association, a weekly podcast hosted by yours truly and the great Dr. Lloyd Walton. You can check it out on our YouTube page, Facebook page. We got it on Twitch. It's all over the place. So if you just Google the association podcast, Dr. Lloyd Walton with his insights as far as the league is concerned. There's no basketball being played, but hey, Doc, there's a lot of basketball being talked about and the possibility of getting the league up and running, man. What's the latest from the association, from what you know?
I just think it's still a lot of talk, man. I mean, we have some pretty smart people, Adam Silver and so forth, and Michelle Roberts from the Players Association. This thing is still going to be dictated by the data and the scientists. And at this point, even though some places are opening up, to actually bring people together in an event as well as just the players, it's going to be very, very challenging. First of all, you got to find a place that you can imagine where you can hold these events. And that's going to be difficult to do. I don't think they're going to be able to test players on a regular basis because there's so many other people in life who are not being tested. So you can't just take away from those guys because they're and give it to athletes. So the number one thing, man, is health for our players. And the second thing you have to think about is that how much time will they need to be able to get in shape to play at their optimal level? And I would say 2 to 3 weeks. So it's still, a hope. Everybody are praying for this opportunity for him to get back, but it's still a ways off, in my opinion, based upon what I've heard in different meetings and what have you.
Hey, Doc, it's Lauren here. So I wanted to get your opinion on the G League. Another player, absolutely, another player decommits and decides to go into the G League, where essentially the players are going to get $500,000. And then, of course, you saw the NCAA making some adjustments and saying now that they are thinking about letting the players use their likeness. What are your thoughts on this new change, and what do you think that means for the NCAA?
Most people think that it will really hurt the college game.
Sure.
I don't want to think it will hurt the college game that in fact, I think we'll have a glimpse of what it used to be like when a player would be at a school at least 3 years. There will be some familiarity with that player. And then that player's future, in my opinion, is a little bit more cemented because they're closer to getting a degree. And that's what I look at, Lauren. I think I hear about these guys now being able to sign with the G League. It is my concern. I believe everybody should have an opportunity to earn a living, right? But my concern is that the only skill you have is in basketball, man. We don't even know how good that is. So you get 500,000, but it's not 500,000. After taxes, you're going to get about 275.
Right.
Are you going to be able to manage that kind of a money? Most kids coming into the league don't have financial literacy, don't really understand a dollar, what it means, and how far it can go. And so these kids can easily be done in 2 years. Nobody says you're going to be able to make it to the NCAA just because you go to the G League and then pay you some money. So with that being said, think about it. I give the analogy: what happened to all these guys who put themselves in their hat to the NBA right out of high school, and they didn't make it? Where are they now? So my concern is for players to actually, for us to do the best job we can do in preparing players with life skills, financial literacy, and things of that nature, in case they don't make it. I hope all of these guys make it. But there's no guarantee for that. You have some skills at 17 years old. It doesn't mean those skills are going to continue to be developed when you become a player in the league for 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. That's how I feel about it. I'm really sold on this life after basketball thing. Unfortunately, some life after basketball is going to start a lot earlier than these players prepare for.
Hey, Doc, this is Dan Marver here. How you doing?
I'm good, Dan.
Good. I want to ask you a couple of questions. As a former player, I've asked a lot of people about this, and I'm still mad 22 years later about the way that the Bulls run ended. I was wondering what you thought about that whole situation with Krause and how, he wasn't going to keep Jackson and Jordan wouldn't play for anybody else. And then I'm also going to ask you how much you like the hire of Marc Eversley. Those are my 2 questions for you.
Okay, I'll stop saying that. I thought it was untenable the way the Bulls ran in. How do you fire a guy who's won this many championships and you tell him before the season starts, I don't care if you go 82-0, you're not going to be coaching the Bulls again. I mean, the most unfortunate thing for all of us as Bulls fans is that Jerry Riles is not here to answer that. Okay? That is the question, the million-dollar question that everybody will want to know. How did you come to this point in your career that you would let a guy go who won these many games, these many championships, and have this kind of team roster put together to probably win another 2 or 3 championships? So I don't like it, but what can we do? The guy's not here. It happened anyway. I don't think anybody else in the league would ever do something like that.
Particularly social media.
Yeah, they go too far. And the second question was what? I'm sorry.
The hire of Marc Eversley.
Let me say, I was telling you, I know him, but I don't know him. Okay, we know each other, from a distance. Hello, how you doing, and that kind of thing. He's somewhat of a lifer. When we met years ago when he was working for Toronto, he is from Canada, and he's been around quite a while. I'll just say this, as you know, without me even telling you this, Dan, the jury's just out. I mean, we hired you. He's an African American, so he's satisfied a lot of people because he is African American. But more than anything, we want somebody who can put together a roster and win. I don't care what color it is. So until we see our team, the Bulls, vying for just the playoffs initially within the next 2 years, and they have a playoff roster, in my opinion, for this year. Until they do those kind of things and get in the playoffs and maybe put together a roster to divide for a championship, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be supporting. and hoping that he gets it done. But, we can't give him a grade down. He just got hired. Everything everybody says about him outside is that he's a good guy. But that doesn't tell me he knows how to put together a roster.
Well, let's hope that he does, and let's hope we can get back to at least some respectability in the next couple of years. We're on with the great Dr. Lloyd Walton. He is the National Basketball Players Association Senior Counselor, played 6 years in the National Basketball Association, and he's joining us on the Rewind Sports 60, our TRS60 hotline. Real quick, and we'll talk with you before we let you go regarding the memoirs that you're writing, the First and 40, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to reading that. But it was just announced, I guess, if not this past week, the week prior, the Casey Johnson, who covers the Chicago Bulls on a regular, I guess he was given permission by the Krause family. Jerry, I guess, had written the memoirs as well. And I guess the family is saying, hey, you know what? You can start publishing some excerpts of that from what Jerry had to say. So, hey, Doc, we might find out a little bit more about how all this came about and why Jerry Krause said, hey, I don't care if you go 82-0, you're gone, Phil. So Casey Johnson does a great job, and the family has allowed him access to this information. So we definitely will be on the lookout for that. We may find out some more regarding the Last Dance.
Hey, Doc, this Q. What's up, man? What's up? Yeah, man. I've been trying to stay COVID-19 free, man. I've been afraid of the COVID, man.
Oh man, looks like I was trying to say, looks like you've been on one of those Rodman vacations, man.
Yeah. Don't tell nobody.
No nose ring though.
Hey, Doc. So clear this up for me. Like, so if a guy come out of college and he doesn't get drafted, he can't. Well, out of high school, right?
Yeah.
So out of high school, we put his name in the draft, and he doesn't get drafted or free agent or anything. He can't go back to college.
I mean, he always go to college, so he's gonna pay for it.
Oh, because he gave up a scholarship to go back. Somebody at school will still get him though, right?
But now you can go to the G League. There's some guys that are coming out of high school to G League, like Lauren was saying.
But he said he doesn't go to the G League. He can't make it in the G League. You go to the G League, but if you don't make it, what do you do?
Right.
Go back to college.
But his scholarship, he loses.
Oh, so you can't get the scholarship?
No.
Oh.
No, because the teams are allotted players. The teams are allotted X amount of scholarships to give the players. Scholarship players, you're a scholarship player, right. And so they're not going to hold that scholarship for him.
Even if he cold. Well, if he was that cold, he would have made the NBA though.
If he was right, if he's that cold.
I'm just trying to process this whole.
Yeah, no. If he was that cold, he wouldn't have to worry about going back to school. Right. There are a lot of players who leave, and go back and get their degree.
Oh, that 500,000 would be so tipping out of high school.
Well, it is.
What?
He said the $500,000 would be so tempting coming out of high school.
Are you serious? Who's gonna turn that down?
Yeah, but here's the deal. I think when we both played in the league, you know what
money
it's like, right?
Yeah, that ain't really no money. That ain't really no. Out of high school though. Out of high school though, that's a lot of money.
Out of high school it is, but think about the different people that want part of that. And the different people that want to take care of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's some pennies. That's some pennies for real.
And I want to share this real quick with you guys. So about 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to interview two guys, Jay Cotton and Lenny Cook. Okay, both of these guys were the number one players in the country out of high school. They were 2 years apart. Number one players in high school. Neither one of them played 1 minute, one game in the NBA. Okay, I'm fearful that this happens to these guys, and it's going to happen to some. What are they going to do with their life when they're giving up all of this and they have no skill other than play basketball?
And no degree.
And no degree, that's the point. No degree, right? So what are you going to do with your life, man? This is serious. You see guys who walk in the gym even today now because they're has-beens. Nobody remembers them. They got on old sneakers. You know, they play ball. They wasted their money, and they're done.
Right.
They don't have a college degree. And that's what I'm still for, man. Seriously, I've seen too many of these guys over the years who come into the league for a year and they're done, or don't make it, they're done. So, you know, I wish them the best, Q. As you know, I mean, I want everybody to be able to make money. More important for the kids, I think they are able to live out their childhood dreams. That's what I did. I'm sure you did.
Right.
Living out your childhood dreams. Right? The money is really a big bonus.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man.
They're talking about forming a union. I think you and I had talked about it, and right now the G League, they don't have a union, but speculation is they're talking about forming that. Have you heard that?
Everybody's everywhere, right? All the players, so it's not like they're in one confined place where they can vote.
Right.
So we'll have a answer probably within the next, I would say within the next week. It would be good if they have a union. Okay, that means they'll get more resources, their way and all that kind of stuff, more services. Right. So that'd be good. But still, no, it will not give you an education. Okay. Right.
Well, that's interesting. Because can't they work that in their agreement that maybe X amount of money can go toward education? Can they work that in some type of bargaining?
That'd be smart.
I don't see that happening.
But is that a possibility that could happen?
It doesn't happen at the NBA level. Why do you think it's going to happen at the G-League level?
Well, because you got these young kids coming out now, and if you have, eliminate the one and done, jump into the league, this might be a bargaining tool to try to negotiate something like that.
Mandatory summer class or something.
Who's making them come out? Who's making them go to the G-League?
Well, at the end of the day, it's the money because people want the money.
Yeah. But that's their choice.
Right.
That's my point. That's your choice, right? That's free will. I'm making a decision that I'm going to forego college and I want to try my luck. I'm going to put my talent on the line. And if I don't make it, I can't hold somebody else accountable for my future. Anything is possible, but I don't see that happening.
Well, the reason I say it's possible, and we're going to go out, we got a call on the line. The reason I say it's possible is because of what exactly is happening with the NCAA and the paying these players for their likeness. It's been long overdue, long overdue. But it's finally caught up that these players are saying, hey, you're going to pay me for my likeness. And I can get an agent. I can get me a car dealership to sponsor me. And I'm going to represent myself on the NCAA level because when you look at these coaches and the amount of money, and I look at Nick Saban, and, hey, this is the greatest country in the world. And I love this country. And so if you go out and make some paper the way they're making the paper, that's fine. But you're making the paper on the back of these young bucks.
I disagree with you, bro.
Uh-oh. Why do you say that? Go ahead, talk to me.
The scholarships should be enough, man.
Listen.
Scholarships should be enough.
Listen.
You gonna have these kids just they go like you don't have the desire for pro anymore. I got it made. I'm a man on campus. I'm getting money too. I don't have to forget pros. Like it's no hunger to be pro anymore when you get the money right now.
Listen, I argued on the side of the student athlete not getting paid, and the reason I argued against it was the fact that, dude, you know how much it cost? Well, you guys know how much it costs to go to university for 4 years. At least $250,000. You're getting a free education, and that
they can't even buy their own jersey.
Well, I couldn't buy my own jersey.
But the money that they're generating, it's definitely some
pros and cons. But I don't think you should give these guys a lot of money. I wouldn't do it because there's something about earning your way to the league, man.
They earn their way if they can get that money.
But finding out how to survive, not having no money for a while.
Think how much money they're
all
making.
All their life they found out how to survive without having no money.
But they got a free scholarship.
Yeah,
though.
but look how much money they're making for the school.
It's not fair. It's not. They need a percentage
life
of that
ain't
money.
fair.
Well, it's a capitalist society. Though somebody getting money off of them.
And
why shouldn't they be able to get some?
So what about the teammates? What about the locker room? You're gonna have the guys only the good guys.
That's how it is in the locker room. Everybody don't get the same treatment. Everybody don't get the same stuff.
You're used to it. That's life.
In college, they do. They should. Everybody should be equal in college.
Not if you're making the team that much more money and then the organization that much.
See, that's why I'm torn because Lauren makes a valid point. How the Ohio State University is it's the greatest university that ever existed, right? So it's not, no, it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes it takes some people to come along. Some come faster than around faster than others. But if you're Chase Young, right? You're coming out, right? Yeah. You're the stud on the team. You're the stud. But then you look at, and no offense to the punter or the kicker or listen, I would have been the 100th player on Ohio State's football team, right? Do I deserve the same amount of pay as one of the starters? If my dad is friends with a car dealership, a Mercedes car dealership, and he say, I'm going to sponsor Jerry, the 100th man on the roster, I'm going to sponsor him. I'm giving $250,000 to put my logo on his jersey. Do I deserve to get the type of money that this top guy is getting paid just because I can get it? I mean, that's where the discrepancy, in my opinion, is going to fall in. What's going to be the parameters?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. That's how America is. It's capitalistic, right? So I don't think we have to worry about that. The thing that figures it out is that you will get your education for performing in sports. You'll get your education. You get a quoted a figure. I know my son went to Michigan. I know I can't say anything about Ohio State because y'all think I play every year, but that was $160,000 for a year scholarship. $160,000. Which allowed me to be able to do so many other things for him, like buy a car. They didn't have extra money in his pocket because his education is being paid for. That's as simple as that, man. If you're not the star, you're not going to get many opportunities. We all do the same thing. In every job we have, the best rises to the top.
We got to show these kids they more than athletes, though. You're gonna make them feel like that's all they are worth. Like if you just paying these kids, like they don't want to go to school anyway. So imagine making some money. I really ain't going to class. Like you guys are taking away from the fact that you got to be a human being too in the NBA, NFL, and fantasy world that you might make it to. So learn how to struggle in college. Learn how to. You're getting free school. What else you want?
That's the way it is now.
The boy in the hood the boy in the hood better than you, but he didn't have a daddy. So
it's real life, man.
Stop spoiling these kids. Stop spoiling these kids. I need some more work from these kids. What? They ain't put enough work in. 18 years old. Put some more work in. Ain't done nothing.
I mean, when did you realize you wanted to be more than just a football player? Being just a football player.
Still working on it.
No. Probably when I got cut though. When I got cut from the league, like when I got cut, I realized that Yeah, but I'm a different animal. I'm a different breed though. I had good mentors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you went that long. Mine started probably my first year in college because I did want to go to the NBA, but I heard all the different people who didn't make it and all the doubters saying that I wouldn't make it. Right.
Right.
And I was like, well, I gotta start thinking about myself in a different kind of way. I love the game. I'm passionate about it. I'm gonna give it all I got. But damn, I don't want to just be seen as only a basketball player.
Right.
This is honest to God too. In high school, when we used to go I went to all boys. We used to go to the girls' school for the parties and what have you. And my friend would introduce me as, this is Lloyd. He's on the team, and I was trained because one thing I didn't know is this girl like me because I play ball, or
right.
like me because I'm Lloyd.
Right.
So I never felt really good about only being seen as just an athlete, just a basketball player.
Right.
Now, that was just my experience. I hope that guys, at today's time, with all the things available to them, can see themselves as more than just being able to dribble or run a football. There's no way they should be able to just do it. Because our players today in all these sports are doing so many different things besides just playing their respective sports.
Yep.
So hopefully these young guys get that message. I mean, I'm not saying that they will, but I hope that they do.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's the fastest hour in sports conversation. Doc, we really appreciate you. Love you. Miss you. Stay safe, man. And we'll talk to you during the week on the Association, the podcast. He's Dr. Lloyd Walton on the Rewind Sports 60, our TRS60 hotline. Folks, it's the fastest hour. We want to say thanks to Quintin Demps, Q coming in the house, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, and of course, the lovely, talented Lauren Cox, our producer, Devin Tingle, and of course, our guest, Lou Canellis of Fox Sports, the sports director over at Fox-32 here in Chicago. And of course, again, the Dr. Lloyd Walton. Jerry Riles, another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. If you miss us, you can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch. You can check us out on LinkedIn. You can check us out, I don't know, Marvelous.
Check it out on Facebook.
There you go. It's the fastest hour. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy The Last Dance, and we'll talk to you during the week. And, of course, next Sunday, right here, 6 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM. Sorry about the update, Gabe. We'll get you next week. Take care, everybody.
Nothing happened anyway.
The preceding program, the Rewind Sports 60,
just slide over here for a second.
and to the extent applicable is guessed. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Newsweb Radio Company or its management.
Who called? We never got
Roosevelt. It was Roosevelt.